Hi, everybody. It is Friday. It is time to rock and roll, metaphorically rock and roll. We'll get to plenty of metaphors yet to come.
Hey.
We're going to have some fun today. Dave, how are you doing today?
Nothing better than Aloha Fridays, baby. I love this shirt. I'm in San Diego today. As you know, I've been on the move, but today, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it.
You know what? Wherever you are in the world, you can feel it on Aloha Friday. And again, every day is Aloha Friday. It's a mindset. It's a feeling.
Right. I was at Lambeau Field on Monday night. I know I even said it wrong, but it was cold, but it was in the cold there at Monday Night Football. I was warm because I felt the Aloha spirit somehow. You had a teammate playing, and it brought me back,
There we go. Well, hey, let's just get right into the gratitudes. I'm going to start off by no, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to start off. I just want to say that I'm so grateful for the flexibility of the work that we do. We get to do everything from our phone. We get to what's up, Chris? What's going on, man? Good to see you. We are doing great. We're just sharing our gratitudes. I'm just truly grateful for the work that we do because it allows us to go travel wherever we want, still be able to do our coaching on the phone. It's amazing the flexibility that it has. And I'm telling you, I'm loving this mental performance coaching. And shoot, if anybody wants info on what that is, just type in coach into the comments, whether you're watching the replays or not. But I'm grateful for being a coach, I guess. What are you grateful for today?
Awesome. I'm grateful. I was going to say, but I'm changing it because I love being a coach, and we had this great event. We had Soldier Field in Chicago Saturday night. It was incredible. I'm grateful for the success of that. But when you mentioned coach, I'm grateful that one of my clients who's in Spain right now, who was a guest on the show, James, is the only American. Yeah, he's getting his European Pro Tour card. He qualified in London to get to the stage in Spain, went through that stage. Now he's the only American that has made it to the third stage and final stage. And as soon as the show's over, I'm giving him a game ready to go out there, and he's game on, baby, game on, which is so awesome.
He's now playing to win rather than not to lose. If you guys know what that means, it's from the episode we had him on. He is an absolute winner. So again, reminder, comment your gratitude. We'd love to hear from you guys, whatever you're grateful for today. And if you don't want to type it that much, then just put a scale of 1 to 10, however grateful you're today. I'm a 10 for sure on my gratitude, feeling the Aloha spirit. And then without further ado, the quick quote of the week from my Instagram for those that follow me at Shane Austin 10. This week, I went with one that went like this. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. How much prep are you putting into? Yeah, I mean, we're going to talk to an athlete today, and we'll talk, I know from athlete's perspective, because he was a teammate of mine, we put a lot more into our prep than we actually do spending in the game time. So it just goes to say, that's a pretty good quote of the week. Who said it? That's my question. If anybody knows, I'll give you a hint. He's a former president of the United States. That's the only hint you got. So you can narrow it down from there. All right. Coach Dave, what is tip of the day?
Tip of the day is visualize your success in advance. What does that mean? That just means close your eyes, take some time to see that which you would want to be in every aspect. I had a baseball player became a major league MVP, and when they asked him, how'd you do it? He goes, I just lived into my video every day. So live into your video every day, but create the video of your choice rather than your circumstances.
I love that. You must have skimmed through our agenda for today because we might talk about that a little bit today. So stick around, stay tuned. We're going to learn maybe. I don't want any spoiler alerts, but we could talk about visualization. And we got Liz Kauai from Hawaii. We got the Aloha. Yeah, there we go. I hope you're feeling the Aloha today, Liz.
Liz, thank you, man. You got to bring the island love to us on this. So thank you.
How's our Aloha shirts today?
Yeah, we doing okay?
So before we even start talking about our guests, which I can't wait to talk about this guy. I just want to remind everybody, how important it is to just engage and just comment. If you like this content, if you like some of the past episodes, if you're a regular with us, the value of just sharing it with somebody else. It might make an impact to somebody else's life that wasn't even, turned on to this. And now they're tuned in, and we can all be tuned in together. One thing I thought of today, let's do something new. If you're tuning in from your phone, this is a new one. Go ahead and screenshot it. Screenshot us going right now and then share that. I don't know. Just give it a try. And if you're on the computer, I think there's a way to screenshot from your computer. But Liz says we look awesome, so thank you, Liz. We're looking great. Oh, we got a screenshot going right now. I guess you're
got it, baby. Got it.
My coaching tip of the day. Love it. Cool. Well, that's awesome. Obviously, we say awesome a lot, so continue on the awesome counter there for the regulars. You guys know what that is. And we might say awesome a little too much, but can you say it too much? It's a great word. It's an awesome word.
It's an awesome word.
So
I'm putting an awesome picture on my Facebook right now.
Oh, you're posting it right now. Like this is live.
Right now.
Okay. Okay. Wow. So can I talk about the guest now, please?
Yeah. Go ahead. What guest? Oh, we have a guest?
So okay. We have a guest. It's not just us on our pedestal today, on our soapbox. Collin Taylor is a close and dear friend of mine. He went to University of Indiana, or is it Indiana University? IU. So, okay, there we go. He can't talk to me right now, so I can just look at him in the lobby. He gives me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. But he was a Hoosier. And then he went, to the AFL, bounced around for a few years, and then ended up in a town called Cleveland, Ohio. And that is where our paths crossed. We were teammates. We were both on the practice squad together, and we both rose to setting franchise records. So together we have a very parallel journey, which is pretty cool. But he set some of those without me. He set one was consecutive games with a TD. He had 38 consecutive games with a TD. And I think the most impressive stat was that it was with 4 different QBs. I think, give me a thumbs up. 5 different QBs.
Wow.
And I was just a small portion of that, I guess. And then he went on to be All Arena, Al Lucas Hero Award. And then he got drafted to the CAFL, which is where I play as well. And we cross paths again, this time not as teammates, but as enemies out in China. He played for Beijing. I played for Shanghai, which are obviously arch rivals. And they ended up winning the championship, which I'm still a little sour about. We lost them in overtime by 1 point, first game of the season. And he was an All-Pro, and he was the China Bowl MVP. So,
wow. Who was the MVP of the whole league?
See, I didn't want to go there, Dave, but if you lead me to it, I guess I was the MVP of the league, but he did get the China Bowl MVP, and he got the championship. I'd rather have the championship than the individual award. But he's also a performance coach. He does football skills training with a lot of youth and with their strength and speed. Just incredible. Giving back to the youth. And then I got to say, he was part of my groomsmen, and we called ourselves the Brosmaids. So he was a brosmaid at my wedding. And so he's definitely close and dear to my heart. Can I say that? Is that weird? Anyways.
No, wait a minute. You're not even going to introduce the true thing that you guys do together when you played for Cleveland? I mean, come on. Well, you're not even going to go there?
We're not known for football at all, actually, out in Cleveland. Our biggest claim to fame is our karaoke performances. We have the championship. That's a championship that we did get together.
You own the
Cleveland? Multiple championships in Cleveland. Karaoke championship is probably my proudest moment. We're paid performers. I mean, there was a cash prize at the end of it, and we brought the house down. We rocked the stage. So it's somewhere on YouTube. I hope you guys don't. I hope you guys look it up. And Liz loving the Brosmaids. Love that. Can we get this guy on? I got a picture of him, but
get him.
This is just the fake CT. I want to get the real CT.
Two of you together. I like it.
Yeah. See, that one's a special one right there. That's us doing what we do best.
You're kicking him right, and where you're kicking him? Why are you kicking him?
I'm not kicking him. We're kicking and screaming though. All right, let me just bring him on. I hope he's ready. See, maybe he's asleep now because that intro was so long. There he is. CT is in the house. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you guys for having me on. Give me a second. It's hard to pick my neck up because I have the CAFL championship medallion.
Oh no. Okay.
It's a little heavy. I'm sorry. I'll take that off for the rest of the broadcast.
Yeah, you know what? I wasn't gonna do it, but here. How about this? Share your gratitude right now. Own your gratitude. Enjoy it, because I'm gonna be back with something else. So I wasn't gonna do it, but you forced my hand. So go ahead with your gratitude.
Here we go. This is what it's gonna be. It's gonna be push pull the whole time. Dave, what's going on? Thank you so much for having me on. I've been excited to do this for a while now. I'm glad we were able to figure out Fridays that worked well. Here's what I'm gracious for today. I just came back from Cleveland. I made the 4.5-hour trip from Cleveland back here to my home, Indianapolis, Indiana, back to mom and dad's house. And I'm just so grateful to be able to have a place to call home. Like Shane had mentioned, we do a lot of traveling in our jobs, and we've been all over the place, and now been to multiple countries playing professional arena football. And just that I have a place that I can call home and come back and know that there's always a bed here for me, and people who want to see me, and people who love me. I couldn't be more grateful for that. So that's where I'm at today. Thank you for letting me share that. And now I'm interested to see what.
Hey, but before I got to say, oh man, Liz was ahead of me. She's ahead of me. I'm going like, okay, you're from the Midwest. This is a pretty cool shirt. I mean, this is not bad. I like the shirt, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Actually, shout out to Tropical Bros. I have a buddy of mine from college who started a whole line of clothing that's is around Hawaiian shirts. So this is basically a sponsored appearance for Tropical Bros.
I was gonna say we might need to get them as a sponsor for the show.
Yeah, I like it.
Outfitting good. All of our guests, and then you got the IU jersey behind you, which is great. So, scale of 1 to 10, because I kind of missed the gratitude, but I got a little bit of it. 1 to 10, how grateful?
Can I say 11?
You can say 11, but I'll tell you,
I'm in such a great place. Couldn't see myself being in a better place. So 10 to 11 at least.
I just want to make sure that you're feeling pretty good right now, because my neck's getting heavy too from wearing this helmet. This this is the helmet that was provided to the MVP of the league, and
okay.
I gotta say, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to go there, but you forced my hand.
Individual accolade, team accolade. You know what I mean?
Hey, MVP is the biggest team accolade hidden as an individual.
Go back to the corner. Both of you go back to the corner. All right. Round one is done. Now we go to round two. I'm going to have to be a referee during this thing.
let's bring it back to teammates. How about this? This is where it all started. This is where we had our claim to fame and our championship together. We were American Conference champions together with that helmet. So there we go. We're back on playing terms now.
Here we are.
So you just had a long drive from Cleveland to now where you're at in your hometown. Mm-hmm. You had a chance to check out Full Force Live podcast by Jason Botts, who's one of our guests, actually our very first guest on the show. I got to host that for the first time. I've hosted a podcast. How'd you like the podcast? How'd I do as a host?
Dan, I loved it. That seems to be your wheelhouse. I'll tell you, Jason got himself a subscriber on his podcast. He was dropping some really good knowledge. I went back and listened through to some of his podcasts where he talked about helping youth athletes and helping athletes of all ages, and that's kind of what I'm doing now. You had mentioned I have the great opportunity to train speed and strength classes and do train some youth athletes back in Cleveland now. So that's what I'm doing in the off season. Absolutely loving that, and I love anybody who's willing to help support youth athletes and help them in any way they can. So that's what I'm doing. I understand Jason's doing that, and that's awesome. So he got he got a new fan. I thought he did very well. It seems like something we could do moving forward.
Love it. Well, Jason Botts, I hope you liked my shout out. But yeah, everybody go check out the Full Force Life podcast. Here, I'll even put it up on the screen. That thing is amazing. So now I gotta say, we're gonna get into the topic because obviously, you guys see the title and both of us were bench warmers, and we both rose to setting some franchise records, which is pretty cool. But one thing about us, that we kind of have, I don't want to say it's an inside joke because really everybody does it in a way, but it's something that we have been very aware of lately. So you guys are aware that Dave and I say awesome far too much. Well, CT and I use metaphors way too much. So
such thing, yeah, it's overused.
I love metaphors though, because we got John is game ready with us. What's going on, John? Thanks for chiming in. And I got to say, metaphors are great. I mean, sports is the greatest metaphor to life, right? You learn a lot of life lessons from sports. You don't have to go through your entire life learning. You can learn it very fast. So that's so I do like metaphors, but it is funny that how much we say it. So if you hear us say a metaphor today, just type in metaphorically speaking, of course.
Oh my God, that's easy. Yeah, anybody who does that, I know the viewers are going to be more intelligent than the host. Anyway,
that might be a long one. Just say metaphors then. But all right. So speaking of metaphors, let's get into metaphorically speaking, of course. Let's say you got a game tomorrow. You're about to go into the heat of battle. Well, pretend battle. We're not talking about real battle. But you're going into a game. What are some things that you do to help yourself prepare the night before? Today's the night before. What is something you do?
I know, Shane, you and your father have talked a lot about preparation, and obviously that's something that's knocked out during the week. That's something that's done. You play on Saturday. That's something that's done from Sunday all the way up until Friday, even right before kickoff. But by now, the night before the game is usually when the nerves and when the butterflies kick in. There are a few things that I try to do to kind of help set myself on the right path. One being, since 2014, the season in Cleveland, I've been able to have some really, really good and intelligent mental performance coaches. Right? Quick plug there. I think that's what we were looking for.
Wow. Kind of like that.
I'll make sure to write down specific intentions, things that I want to get accomplished during the game. I also will have to sit back and think about how lucky I am for the opportunity. Once again, speaking gratitude, just lucky I am for the opportunity to be able to play in a city like Cleveland in front of fans that we have there in Cleveland, the Arena Football League. We average 13,000 people at arena football games, which is incredible. And so just to be able to play there and to do what I love, and coming from a position when I was, 14, 15, 16 years old, where people said it was a crazy idea to want to play professional football and nobody will ever want to pay you to play a sport. You're not fast enough, you're not big enough, you're not quick enough, all that kind of stuff. Just thinking about all of that, everything that I've gone to get me into this situation really helps me be able to relax and get some good sleep at night, knowing that I have a big game in the morning.
Jeez, there was a lot that went into there, but I love, the idea, obviously. I love the idea of intentions because I set intentions for my game. How about this? Let's throw it back to Coach Dave. What is an intention for those that don't know, like the difference between that and setting maybe a goal?
And I got to say one thing. It's so much fun to see you guys because I knew you win before you guys are who you are. No, you know what I mean? When you talk about you're not the stars and all of a sudden you both became superstars, but you guys, I would give you game readies on Friday nights. And so and you guys all know this, so the fans out there know this. So a goal, you set a goal, but how you're going to achieve that goal is through your intentions. So an intention is an example. Collin, you're a receiver. One would be win the one, so that you're not thinking about what just happened or what's going to happen. You're in that place of one, this is all I got. I'm going to give it all in this one. So that's an intention that's going to help you get touchdown passes or whatever your goals are. How many, receptions, right? You came up with a really good, is this the time that I can steal something that you came up with? You want to share?
Well, we're going to get into his intentions. Jeez, don't take all of them. I just said explain intentions.
We obviously had this conversation a ton of times because my number one intention moving forward was to win the one. I love that. I think it's perfect and it fits well, obviously, in the situation.
Yeah. So I'll shut up. But I just wanted to give an example of the kind of things that we would share. And then what I do when I'm working with a client, it's a combination. I can feel the energy that, this is a lock. It's like if I say something, you don't, but all of a sudden you can feel the shift in energy. You're going, that's exactly where the focus should be.
And I got to say that whoever's watching right now, this doesn't just apply to athletes. I'll just give you another quick tip is you can apply intentions to any walk of life, any area of life. And it's about getting yourself in the right process, getting yourself not focused so much on the results. Goals are result oriented. Intentions are process oriented. It's getting yourself in position for success. That's what gets you into that consistent success. And I like to say it's like a batter in baseball. If they're getting discouraged based on how many hits that they're getting, I mean that 3 out of 10 at bats they get on base, with a hit, that sounds like a failure. You got out 7 times, but 3 of those times you got on base, and you're an all-star player. If you're getting that consistently, that's batting 300. You're going to the Hall of Fame if you can keep that up. And it just reminds us that you got to be focused more on the process, more on the getting your hands together, staying composed, having trust, having confidence, those things that you can control rather than the results that sometimes have other factors that play into part. So CT, what if, we're going back to our metaphor of the game tomorrow. It's happening. What are 3 intentions you'd use right now going into a game tomorrow?
Yeah, I've been lucky to be able to do this a ton of times, Shane. And it's funny because it started, you and I would be on the phone with your father, kind of the history of how this all started. We'd be on the phone with your dad the night before, and we'd talk through some things, and had a lot of success, obviously, playing a performance-driven sport or being in a performance-driven job. You do what helps you perform best, right? And so we saw what helped us perform, and when we performed the best, and whatever you did then, you would continue to do, and hope for the same high level of performance. And so we were able to do that over a couple years. Actually, funny, quick kind of side note to that. We had a season where Shane and I were no longer playing together, right? And I would still call my mental performance coach, aka Shane Austin, who would help me through getting through these cues and getting game ready, right? Well, there were multiple games where the quarterback of the opposing team was Shane Austin, my performance coach. So he would say things in our game ready, like, imagine yourself, cutting up the defense and making all the and score, getting in the end zone a ton of times. And I kept thinking how upset his teammates would be if he was coaching one of the top players on the other team through this mental performance. So that was pretty funny.
That was okay. So for anybody watching who was my teammate when we were going against CT, that was supposed to be kept in confidentiality. Geez, did I even say that right? No, it's out there now. I'm not. I was all for it. I think that this is an abundant world. I think we should all be playing at our best. I was helping CT get ready for the game that he was going against us, but at the same time, I was getting myself ready so I could beat CT. I wanted CT to play well, but I wanted our team to win. Unfortunately, our team still hasn't beat CT's team in all the teams that I played with.
How about if he was a defensive back? Would you still done it?
or a defensive lineman.
Imagine see yourself crushing the quarterback.
Right. Yeah, in the Arena Football League, you sometimes have the opportunity to play both sides of the ball, and I was blessed with that opportunity to do that at IU. So I was usually the next player if we had a defensive player get hurt, and he would jump in and defensive back. And I intercepted a couple of our close friends, or a close friend of ours, a couple times, and he would say, if you have the opportunity to go in and play defense, make sure you read the quarterback's eyes and you can see where he's going. You can pick the. And as I'm imagining it, I see Shane just throwing me the ball. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to knock that off of my to-do list. But
although I almost did. I almost threw you a gift because it was muscle memory. I was so used to throwing it to you offensively, I almost threw it to you when you were an opponent.
Yes, but spoiler alert, hasn't happened yet. Still on my to-do list. But where were we? We were.
We're gonna say what your intention.
Well, you already I stole one of your intentions. So one is win the one.
Win the one. Yeah, that was one of the most powerful because it's very easy with all that stuff going on, especially in the Arena Football League. You have fans. I would go split out and I'd be by the wall, and fans would be having conversations with me before we would even start the play. I mean, they are literally 3 feet away from you. So you have to be able to focus and you have to be able to lock in on what's going on. And you have to win the one every single play.
Liz, actually, that's what she just mentioned right there. Being in the moment and adjusting to an ever-changing circumstances is so important. Never looking back until it's time to reflect. I love that, Liz. You're talking win the one right there. She's winning the one.
Oh, yeah.
Love it. Yeah, so anybody tuning in, CT is just talking about his intentions right now before going into a game, how you can apply it to your life, whatever that is, whether it's in sport, on or off the field. Win the one, first one. What's the second one?
Calm strength, another one that was really powerful with myself. I kind of look at that and think about confidence too, right? Like calm strength, being in the moment, knowing your worth, being confident, being out there on the field, but never being too high or too low, right? You have ups and downs in sports. You have ups and downs in business. You have ups and downs in your everyday life, but that's something that if you stay calm and you stay strong in the moment, you're able to move through adversity. So that was another one that really was really powerful with me. And finally, the one that I came up with that I ended up using the most, and which was really a game changer moving forward once we came up with this, was the acronym of CATCH. So at its very base level, the reason I'm getting paid by somebody to do something is because I can catch, right? And I need to catch. So at the very most elementary level, I need to make catches, right? So that's a word that would stick out, and I would say catch. Catch is something that I would repeat over in my head. But I ended up coming up with acronyms for for that CATCH, and each of those were specific things that I wanted to hit on every single time I was out on the field. And so if we're ready to go into some of that, I can kind of let everybody know what I was thinking about with.
Yeah. I'm actually typing it up on the screen so people, I mean, hopefully you guys know how to spell catch, but what does C stand for in your acronym?
So a lot of this is not only physical, but mental, right? And so the confidence was the first C. I could always tell when watching film or when watching games played back, when I was to break the huddle, how I approached the line, I could tell if I had confidence in that play or not. So I was able to pick up, no matter what the play was called, if I was confident, I would walk back with, people call it swagger. I would know exactly what I was to do. I knew where I was going and when I was going there. If I wasn't as confident, let's say something happened, let's say there was a penalty the play before, let's say it was 3rd and forever, let's say, depending on the situation, I could tell maybe I wasn't so confident there. So that's something that I always had to lock in. The first C was the most important, and that was confidence.
Love that.
The A stood for awareness, right? So awareness, just being aware of what was going on, being aware of down and distance. Shane, you had mentioned, I believe, before, first thing you do when you break the huddle is check the play clock, right? You have to be aware of what's going on around you and how much time you have to do it, right? Because there's not enough time in life or in sports. So awareness was the second one. T was toughness. T stood for toughness. And that's another one, both mental and physical. You get to places in games where you almost think, we can't, I can't, right? This team can't do it, but you try to shake that, stay mentally tough. And also, I'm playing in a game where I have 6'8", 350-pound monsters chasing after me, trying to rip my head off with my head inside my helmet, right? Trying to take all that off. I had to be tough, both mentally and physically, to be able to survive. And
you got to have calm strength.
You got to have calm strength and physical strength and every type of strength to survive.
I don't know if you saw my T double bicep.
Yeah,
I might not be totally in the screen, but that was
signature touchdown celebration.
Yeah.
Which actually started as a joke and now kind of a thing. So we got a lot of fun.
That's pretty tough.
Yeah, very tough, very tough.
I learned something every time on these calls. Sometimes it's really life changing. Other times it's like, oh, really? I never knew why you did that.
Double bicep. That's where that's kind of where that ended with that celebration. Concentration was the fourth C. That I think is also obvious in a performance based job, is that you have to be all in, right? You have to concentrate throughout the entire time. It's very easy during a timeout, when you're in the huddle with some of your best friends, to be able to kind of wander off and see what everybody's doing and where's everybody at in the stands and what's going on out there. But you got to be able to lock in and concentrate on what you're doing.
I don't know if you see this logo up here, but it's our Extreme Focus logo. I mean, that is our company, Extreme Focus. If you can't lock in and get extreme focus, I mean, that's what it's all about. So I love that concentration.
Yeah, concentration. And then finally the H, and this might be actually the best one of all. It's just have fun, right?
Woo!
You got to think every day I go up and I wake up and I go to practice, and you might be tired and it might be cold and you're dragging. Oh, why do I got to do this? Why do I have to get out of bed? Here's the deal, dude. You're playing professional football. You get to play in front of thousands of people. You get to play in front of your family who love watching you play. You get to see them every weekend, being close in Cleveland. I mean, if I'm not having fun, then there's no reason to do it. So have fun is at the base. It's the H. But, if it were a different word, have fun might just as easily be at the top. So you always have to have fun with what you're doing. As soon as I stop having fun doing this,
all right. Now, I love it. So I'm going to do a challenge to anybody watching. And those that come on later, because we get a lot of people coming on to watch the recording. And Sarah, listen to this if you're there. I want you to take catch and come up with something for your life, whatever you're doing. This is a challenge because you've got it in football. There you go. Perfect shirts, guys. Aloha. Yeah. And I see in a moment you're going to probably bring up Liz's. I want to challenge you. I want everyone to take a moment. It doesn't have to be now, maybe back later, and relate it to your life. What catch means that you can use that's going to better your life, just like he became a standout star.
There she is.
Yeah, I'm here. I love it. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing you can ever do in life is say, I am here. That's being present, right? So I want to challenge everyone to take catch and come up with something and apply it to their lives.
And Liz says it right here. Confidence, awareness, toughness, concentration, have fun, love it, applies to everything in life, just like you're saying. It does. It truly does. And we kind of pass over this real quickly, but she also says calm strength with the Shaka Aloha. Calm strength is a huge one, and that kind of goes in there in that catch acronym. But I got to say, I had an acronym as well going into my prep for games, and mine was here. Let me just write it down. How about this? It was.
You're going to do yours, but I want to tell you, anybody can do. It doesn't have to be catch. I'm going to change it. It can be whatever you want because you're going to give another one.
What's your acronym?
Yeah, what's your acronym?
So my acronym was PACE. And the reason I used PACE was one for the elementary part of the word is pace is I wanted to have a good controlled pace to my drop. Obviously, it's very quick. I got to be quick, but I didn't want to be rushed. I didn't want to be hurried because you can get there fast by going slow. There's a strength in that. So I wanted to have a good, solid pace to everything that I did. The P, oh, geez. Now I got to remember what all these
Patience,
mean. No. I know what it is. Jeez, let me at least challenge myself. Let me find it.
Every so often I got to stop. Shut up.
You're the spotter when I'm struggling here, and you just rack the weight. I'm like, come on, let me at least fight with it for a little bit. So the P is patience. First and foremost, be patient for an athlete. For me, in the pocket as a quarterback, I got to be patient to do my reads and all that stuff. Then I move into A, which is accuracy. I want to have accuracy whenever I throw the ball. I can't control whether CT catches it or not, but I can control my accuracy that I'm going to put it right on his chin. And then C, due to that, I'm going to help myself get some completions. Now looking back in hindsight, I'd say that's more of a goal, completions, because a lot of that's not totally your control. But at the time, that one worked for me. But if I had good pace, if I was patient, I had great accuracy, I just focused on my completions, then excellence would happen. Then I'd have excellent results, which is the E. So that was my little acronym of PACE. Obviously, we have a lot more acronyms within our coaching, within the B system. We got RESPA, we got WOTAR. We got a ton. But that I think they're just easy to remember. They're easy to apply to life.
Less thinking, more just being. You have to. It's what we talked about earlier. It's about your prep. So the one word can put you into right action. It keeps you in sports or in business when you're in the alpha state of mind, where everything is flowing. So you prepare for that state of mind by keeping it simple. And that's what you guys are doing. Keep it simple because there's so many distractions that can make it challenging or difficult.
That's what intentions do. They keep it simple. So then after you set your intentions, anything else you do before the night before the game?
The night before the game.
Or the day of, I guess. Anything else you do to prepare?
Before a game, pretty well regimented. It would take us probably a while to get through that, but just to hit on some of the highlights. I do some different things that
we don't have to talk about the game day nap.
No, that's not it. Yeah, but there are things that you do when you're ready to perform to kind of prime the engine, right? So you're ready to go.
Ooh, Chad's chiming in.
And come there.
Do you see that?
So there are a lot of things you do, and one. What was very successful for myself and some teammates moving forward was always the 7:59 game day breakfast, no matter where you were at, no matter what time zone you were in. You get up early. 7:59 is when you head out to get the game day breakfast, wherever that may be. Come back and crush a game day nap, which is also very important to be well rested going into the game. Couple hours out of a game, I would start to drink pickle juice, which is something kind of bizarre. But after having some issues with some cramping, I find out that if I drank a ton of sodium and a whole jar of pickles, then I was able to stay cramp free throughout the game. So
you think what Chris Becker said would help you with your cramps? A little shot of whiskey and moonshine.
Maybe that would be something to kind of, help out the muscles that were beat up. But yeah.
No, but the reason I brought up Chad's quote, game ready, that's kind of what I was getting to, is the intentions are part of the game ready, right? What's the kind of the end, the wrap up of the game ready? Maybe even Chad can say it, but well, how does game ready, I guess, apply to this whole thing of preparation, preparing for the game tomorrow? What is it? What is that?
Yeah, well, the game ready was basically what we would do to get us in the zone, right? To get us to the place we needed to be able to perform at our highest. We would go through these intentions. We would go through gratitude. You'd be on the phone with either your quarterback or the opposing team's quarterback, whoever it might be. And then you basically spend 15 minutes trying to get into the zone and trying to lock in and trying to see everything before it happens. And it was pretty tough for me early on, to be honest, moving forward with these game ready processes, because you have to be able to get your mind into a place that you're not at, and you had to get yourself into the game, and you had to get yourself in uniform, and you had to get yourself on the other side of an opponent defending you. And it was tough. And so for a while I'd spent, the first couple times we did it, being able to really lock in for 4 or 5 minutes. And then your mind starts to wander, right? Because I wasn't trained and I hadn't had enough reps at it. But halfway through the season, 8, 9, 10 games into the season, I was able to develop, whether it be the mental strength or the mental capacity or just the amount of reps during these game readies, to be able to actually see myself on the field, to be able to feel myself on the field, to be able to look up. One of the things that I always did is when I would imagine myself running out of the tunnel, getting ready for this game, I would look up in the stands and see my family, and I would see my niece, and I would see what shirt she was wearing. That was always kind of my thing. And she had a couple of Gladiator shirts, so I'd be able to see my 4-year-old niece and see what she's wearing, and I'd be able to hear her cheering for me. And I knew once I was able to do that I was able to basically the sky was the metaphorical limit. I could.
Oh, there we go.
Right. I'd be able to do anything, because now I'm able to see very small, particular, specific things. And Shane, we've discussed it. I know I've heard some of these before in some of your other podcasts you were on. You talk about that 2014 season where we set a record for wins in a season, and all those games we won on the last second was everybody else's minds were blown that we were able to do it. We were cool because we'd seen it. I'd already seen myself catching that game-winning touchdown. I'd seen myself making the catch on 4th down. I'd seen the ball that you'd thrown to the corner of the end zone over my head when I thought I should have got the ball, but you saw somebody else was open, so you threw to him. So I'd seen all that kind of stuff. So I was never shocked when we would win these games, or when these stats would start to rack up, or you'd see these Cleveland Gladiator players moving to the top of the statistical charts, because I'd already seen it happen. And so it was never anything crazy to me. And so I knew once I got there that I was at a different level of performance. There could be stronger players, there could be faster players, there could be better players, but nobody was playing at the level I was playing at, because I'd already won mentally before I ever even got on the field.
And I want to make a comment on something you said. I don't know if you're aware of it, but that's what I do. I listen to things. And Sarah just nailed you on it. It's great. You said, at the beginning, I wasn't really sure, but you said, I was trying to do this. I was trying to do that. And the difference is then you started doing it. You weren't trying to do it. You were it. So your mind got wired. See, it's funny. Our minds get wired into patterns. And some of these patterns really help us, or these patterns really hurt us. And so the fact that you were able, even at first you called it trying, which is really not doing it, but you were trying, but you finally locked in and got the kind of the connection, so that you were now in it and locked in it, as Sarah says. You became it. And I watched someone who was just an average player become a superstar. And I just love that aspect, because I had a chance to see what you became once you stopped trying and actually being.
But it also shows that, you know, it takes a practice. When you first started visualizing, for those, you know, just tuning in now, we were just talking about CT's visualization process, and there's Andre with the Los Skitlos. I love those comments, man. They crack me up every time. Inside joke. Anyways, what I was saying is it takes a practice that, you know, at first he was seeing it very vaguely and very, you know, shade. And this is what you were talking to me about, you know, even then. And then you just started seeing it in more detail. You started seeing your family members up in the stands. You started hearing it too. So you're bringing in other senses, not just seeing it. Now you're feeling it. You're being it in your head. You said you would even have like the adrenaline going. We're trying to, like, you know, go to sleep, right? But, you know,
right.
Still had your heart pacing because you were there. You were on the field. You were so tuned in to it already happening. Then you step onto the field. You're like, oh, I've already been here before. It's just like those comebacks, you know. And as you said, you know, we climbed the metaphorical ladder, but we expected to do it because we saw it in our head, which is so beautiful. And go ahead.
Asking your dad, we were on a call one time. I remember asking your dad. I said, you know, I almost can't stay locked in for so long because I get nervous. I start to, you know, my heart starts to race, and I would really feel what was going on in the field, and I thought that was a bad thing. And I remember him saying, no, that's great because we know that you're locked in. We know you're there. So I was able to remove myself from wherever it was, the position I was in, to being on the field and to about to get hit and seeing a ball, you know, a 50-50 ball get thrown in the air, one that I've got to go get. I was able to see myself go up and get it. And the adrenaline would kick in, and I would feel that. And then I learned to fall in love with that feeling as opposed to trying to push it away because I was uncomfortable. Like you said, I'm supposed to go to bed in 15 minutes, and I'm sweating, feeling like I'm playing a game. I was able to tap in and find that place, and that would help me moving forward. Because as soon as we would kick off, like we mentioned, I'd already seen it, and I'd already seen, you know, sometimes she was wearing a different shirt than I thought she'd be wearing. But that didn't bug me. You know, I knew they were there, and I knew she was there, and we were able to, you know, have a lot of success with that moving forward.
I got to ask something since, well, actually, I'm not asking it. Reader's asking it. Brian Reader, I got to say, I'm so happy to hear from you, man. It's been a while, but talking about the pickle juice in your preparation, did you eat the pickle?
So I'm going to have to say RIP to all those pickles that I feel terrible every time I do it. I've been able to find out who else appreciates the ideas of me drinking pickle juice, because before the games, they always want to eat the pickles. So some of our trainers, some of my teammates will pick some out. But trust me, after I would drink a whole jar of pickle juice, the last thing I wanted to do was actually ingest an actual pickle. I just was so yeah, that couldn't even touch it. But people got into that idea, and they were able to eat the pickles. But you know, may all those pickles that I tossed out rest in peace. And I'm sorry that, but you know, came along with the process there.
I love it. Let's get into the Final Four. Great, awesome content, and the Final Four is going to bring some awesome content. So I can't, wait to hear your responses, because these are the same questions that we ask each guest every week, but we get a different perspective. Now this week we get an all arena football perspective to our Final Four. Dave, you want to take the first one?
All right, number one, baby. Number one. Who?
Check out my glass too.
Oh yeah,
Hawaii baby. Aloha.
Who would you say has been one of your biggest influences in life coming up?
I could list a couple of them, and some people that were really made an incredible impact on my career and my life in general. But number one comes to mind when you look at biggest influences. My sister is way up. She's number 1, 2, and 3. She's the reason I've been able to get to where I'm at. She's I was actually asked in an interview pretty recently. They said, who's your favorite superhero? And I said my sister is my favorite superhero. And they're like, oh, no, I mean like your. And I'm like, no, listen, you don't understand what this woman does. I mean, she is just, I swear she works 29 hours a day. Is an incredible wife to an incredible husband, has 2 just incredible kids who you'll hear about here shortly. But she's been a big reason why I've been able to do what I can do now. And if it wasn't her, I wouldn't be in this position. Literally though, after my junior year of college, I remember I had my family in my dorm room, or in my fraternity room, excuse me. And I said, this is it. I'm good. Like, it's just too hard. I've heard no a ton of times. I'm like starting to believe that all these people saying, no, you can't do it are right. And I said, I'm done with this. Right. And she said, nah, you're not. And I'm like, listen, you ain't getting up at 5 a.m. You ain't you don't go to those meetings and listen to what these guys have to say, right? Like, they're not saying that to you. And she said, no, I'm not ready for that. I don't know. I was like, okay, like that was powerful. And if there's one person to say that and I'm going to listen to, it's her, followed quickly by my parents, right? But she said that, and I'm like, okay, I'll give it another shot. And you know what I mean? But spoiler alert, I played that year, right? And that's why we're here. So she is by far been my biggest influence. And she, like I said, works 29 hours a day, but still texts her little brother every once in a while, like, hey, thinking about you, and that kind of stuff is incredible.
That's awesome
to have. Yeah. So she is the influence, the biggest influence. And that also kind of brings me to another point. I told Shane I wanted to talk about my why, if you don't mind, if I can make maybe a 1B.
Nope. Next. No, just kidding. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's hear it.
Am I allowed to do that? So
yeah.
A lot of times things come up when goal setting of what's your why, right? You want to have a reason to do things. And for a long time, my why was so I could show this high school coach who said I wasn't going to be, I wasn't going to play college football. I want to stick it to him. Right. And then I got to college and I had college coaches who said, you can't do this. And I know I'm going to stick it to him. Right. I had a coach who didn't want to play me because I walked on, and you'll never play professional. No way. So I played professionally. Right. And then I had coaches who didn't think I could play. So they cut me and they traded me and they did whatever. And so I was, I'm going to score 100 touchdowns professionally. And I'm going to have 5,000 receiving yards, and I'm going to catch over 250 passes professionally. Right. And I did all those things. And then I realized this didn't change their lives at all. He's not thinking like, oh man, I remember I told that dude he couldn't do it and he can do it. So I changed, shifted my why. And that was pretty big because this was the same thing. This was around 2014, 2015. I started having a conversation with myself, moving forward. I said, what happens when I get older and my nephew comes up to me and he says, I got this dream that I want to chase, but I don't think I can do it. Right. Like, what would you do? Right. And so who would I be as an uncle to say, oh, don't do it. Don't chase that dream. Just go do this 9 to 5, do whatever's safe. Right. If I would have gone that route, then who knows where I would have been. Right. But I have my niece and my nephew who are going to come to me and be like, yo, what do I do now that time's tough? And I'm going to say, listen, your uncle did it. You can do it and you can push through. So my why is to show these kids that there is a future and that they're able to do whatever they want to do. So it shifted from aggressive, you said I couldn't do this and you did that, to, in gratitude and in love. And so that's why I'm still able to do what I do. So
and you do it better too. That you up leveled when you shifted.
It's so powerful too, because I've had those same times where I just want to prove somebody wrong, and it just all came from anger. And I had great games. I had my game against USC. We talked about that before when I was on national television. I'll tell you, I was, as Ray Lewis says, pissed off for greatness. And I had great success. It was fuel. It was motivation. But I'll tell you that anger, motivation through anger, is not sustainable. Right. So you had to shift that why. And I love how you just said it's not making any impact on their life. Yeah. This is about me.
He's losing sleep over me because he's got 100 special touchdown.
Oh man, that is powerful stuff. That might be one of our deepest answers on biggest influence ever. Ooh. And we got into why, power of why, power of having a strong vision will help you overcome those challenges, help you overcome setbacks. It'll help you overcome a lot. The more powerful your why is, the more powerful your drive and your desire is. I love that you shifted to the positive why. All right, second question. One thing you'd tell your younger self, if you could go back.
Man, young CT had a lot of stuff to like me now. When we originally discussed this, I was thinking, man, like what life-changing advice would I give, that real young kid who wore too big of shirts and jean shorts and nice shiny had a bad haircut. Like, what would I tell him? I tell him like to use product in his hair, like to wear bigger earrings. Like, what would I tell him? What I ended up coming up with was, I think just the idea of it's not that serious, right? I think you go through a lot of times in your youth where what one person says has an effect on you for days, right? It's, oh, my buddy did this. He said this. I should do this. Or this person said, or this girl, right, in junior high said this, and then ruins who you think you are, right? I would look back and I would tell him, like, bro, it is not that serious. Right? So whatever you got going on, don't worry about it. If it doesn't affect you in an hour, in a day, or in a week, there's no reason to dwell on it, right? And I think thinking about that now, it gets me in a much better mindset. You know, if people say things negative, it's like, all right, man, that's just your feeling. It helps you feel better, you know, like knocking other people down, because some people are able to do that, right? Like if I took everything people said to heart, I'd be in a bad place. Like I'm a 30-year-old male with a ponytail who just moved out of his parents' house, right? So it's like, if I were to take everything that people said to heart, I wouldn't be here. So I think I think that's what I would say. Like, bro, just, it ain't that serious, right? Don't worry about it. Well, I think that would, you know, put me in a much better place than I think kids are a lot of times these days.
I gotta say, you're an inspiration, and Anna agrees, or at least I'm agreeing with Anna. But
cousin Anna, thanks for tuning in.
But I gotta say is that, you know, it's true though. Is when you take in everybody else's thoughts and their beliefs, and you just adopt them as your own. I mean, you're so moldable. You can be just taken any direction, and anybody can, you know, just have that much of an impact, whether it's negative or positive. But when you just decide, hey, you know, forgive them for what they do not know. Maybe they're, you know, we don't allow their belief system to dictate our own belief system, is kind of what you're getting at. It sounds like. Right. So I love it.
Good stuff. So, all right, question 3, baby. What do you like to do in the off time? What's something that you enjoy doing?
I won't go as deep with this one. I think that's.
Go deep. I want the meat.
No.
Yeah. Right. What do you got? I love watching movies. I love playing golf. Obviously, every athlete wants to be competitive all the time, right? And I know Shane and I have had a ton of really competitive golf matches. Maybe
the links
with him more than.
Shout out to Ed.
Yeah, shout out to Ed at the link. You know, karaoke is another thing Shane touched on earlier. That's another thing very near and dear to my heart. But really, just to be, you always have to be on playing sports, right? And in the business world, you always have to be on. Just anything that I can kick back and relax. And watching movies is one of my favorite things to do. Playing golf, just relaxing, shutting down. Audiobooks is a big thing that I've gotten into now. And so all those things are some hobbies that I like to do when I'm not, you know, when I don't have to, you know, run away from these 350-pound monsters that I was talking about earlier.
Well, I mean, as athletes, you know, we know the importance of recovery, right? Physically, but also, I mean, mentally. When you're engaged in something, we also need a recovery time. We need to just kind of shut off for a second, recharge our batteries, and get going again. So I love that. Last, final, 4th question. Would be, what would you say, we'll just say in your sport, what would you say the biggest life lesson football's taught you?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of lessons you get as far as time management, as far as setting priorities, things like that, organizational skills, which I think just comes through playing sports and being busy in your everyday life. And it's something not everybody gets exposed to, but when we do, I think that you're able to set up your life a little easier and be more effective that way. But I think the biggest one that I've learned, and you know, looking over my shoulder, it makes me think about it, is learn how to lose better, right? And I'm in positions where I've lost a ton, right? When it comes to football. I mean, I've played on some bad teams that haven't won a lot of games, and that's just been it. And instead of,
I mean, Hoosiers are known for basketball, right?
Yeah, they are a basketball team. You're absolutely right. They're a very, very good basketball team. Football's turning around, so they're always watch. But I didn't play on great teams. We had won some games, but it was never anything like, you know, like some of these arena teams I've been on. But I think you have to learn how to lose.
We silence our cell phones. Jeez, what is this, amateur hour?
No, but you know, because I got to do a game ready for, you know, my golfer in Spain.
Leave, get out of here.
Ready. Should I go leave?
Yeah, go do your thing. This is I can handle this. I've been a host on a podcast now. Okay, I think I can handle this.
Hey, I love you, CT. I'm so proud of you. Proud of Shane too. You guys, I want to see you on the same team again. I love watching him throw passes to you. And good stuff today, man. Good stuff today.
Do your game ready. Get James locked in.
James locked in. The only American, baby. The only American in the final of the Pro Tour event. So that's pretty cool.
I'm sure he'll do great.
Oh, yeah, baby. He'll be ready to do great. All right.
All right. Get out of here. I'm taking you out. Aloha. All right, CT. Where the heck were we?
We can talk about the good stuff. Learning, the biggest lesson I learned is just to lose better. There are people who say you have to hate losing more than you love winning, right? But I think about that as being physical, right? I hate losing. I'm gonna throw a fit and I'm gonna pout and I'm not gonna talk to anybody for 3 days if I love and my family. I'm not gonna talk to you. Don't worry about me. I'm out. Things like that. That's more physical to me. I think you just have to learn more from losing than you do winning. And that was something that I didn't understand for a long time, right? It's something that, we lost, we'll watch the film. Okay, we got it. We'll move on. But it's deeper than that. It's okay. What was the preparation that we had when we lost compared to the preparation that we had when we won, right? There's got to be something that happened, and it might not even have been Saturday at the game. It might have been Monday, right, when we were going through film and we weren't specific about a certain route depth that you ran. Or a certain ball that you dropped, it was something that ended up snowball effect, and it ended up affecting the whole game. It's something that I learned how to lose better through, unfortunately, losing. But that I think is the best thing that I learned from sports. And maybe me personally, maybe I lost so much early on, right? And I talked about all the people who had said no and who had said I can't do this and I can't do that. I think when they did that, I lost so many times that it's like, well, where can I go from here, right? I can't go any lower, right? I already got my head coach who's getting calls in high school, who's getting calls from recruiters, and he's telling them, they say, oh, Collin Taylor, we'd like to come in and talk to him. And he says, no, Collin Taylor doesn't want to play football at the next level, right? He would say things, and then he ended up telling me later, like, oh, yeah, this school called for you, and I told him you weren't going to play, just because he didn't feel like I could, right? And it's like, well,
right.
So many people have said no that I've lost so many times. Maybe I'm in a situation now to only take advantage of it and to grow from that situation. So I think losing has taught me more than winning ever has or ever will.
I mean, it's awesome. And the reason I touched on, IU is Hawaii, we were up and down too. We had a lot of losses as well. And then the coolest thing about when we got together in 2014 is that our team, Cleveland was 4-14 the year before. Mm-hmm. They just did a lot of restructuring with the roster, and they were just bringing in guys from teams that lost. I mean, all these guys, me, you, Willie. I mean, we came from teams that just did not win, and we were just like thrown together. It was like patchwork, and nobody believed that we could do anything. And that was the greatest thing is we were underdogs the whole season, even when we were like 9-0. But like we took all of those losses combined from all of these guys that have just lost a ton. And then we freaking went on to set the greatest record in AFL history, 17-1. So I love that answer. And I see you, Meg. Learn how to lose better. Good lesson. She, we have our call in about a half hour, Meg. We'll be on our own coaching call. She's and she just texted me. So she's on Olympic I don't want to say bobsledder, but skeleton for anybody that knows. It's the head first. You got to be completely out of your mind to do that, right? She's a beast. So that was it for the Final Four. Where can people find you? Where can if people want to get a hold of you, if people want to follow you, your journey?
Yeah. Great question. Thanks for asking that. Funny. One more thing I want to say real quick. Whenever that team is brought up, that 2014 team, man, what made this team so special? You guys won some. What was it? Was it coaching? Was it? I said, listen, we had a team full of losers. Yeah. Like, wait, hold on. Everybody was a loser. Like I was on the end of a bench. Willie McGinnis didn't get to start. Now 2-time, 3-time. Defensive all arena player. You hadn't got an opportunity. We had everybody who had lost, and it's like. The bar was set so low that we couldn't do anything but go up. So I think I really do like that response. Oh man, what made it so special? Oh, we were just a bunch of losers.
And Liz, sorry, I gotta say, Hawaii up and down with question marks. She's big Hawaii UH fan, and I gotta say, You know what? It was a roller coaster ride at Hawaii, but that's why roller coasters are fun, for the ups and the downs, right? Yeah. We had some great winning seasons. We went undefeated one year, and then, fell from grace against Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. But I had a blast in those ups and downs. If we were just always up, if we were Alabama, I don't know, I might just get bored doing that. But you learn a lot from losing. So there's a gift in that. So thanks, Liz. Okay, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at The Real CT, as opposed to all the fake ones. Don't get it.
Ooh.
All the fake CTs out there. But I'm on Instagram at The Real CT.
We might have somebody that might argue that, though. My roommate, my wife's sister is Courtney Tinnen. That's also a CT.
Paying attention.
There's quite a debate on who the real CT is.
Like I said, fake CTs out there. So follow The Real CT at The Real CT on Instagram. Also have Facebook at The Real CT Athlete page on Facebook.com / The Real CT Athlete page. And then also on Twitter, Collin_Taylor is one that I got that way before I'd even started to develop who The Real CT was. So you can get me on either of those.
Love it. Well, I'll be sure to give you a follow.
Yeah.
And I'll be sure to give you plenty of double taps. That's what bros do. That's what bros-maids do. So let's get a quick. And Liz says thanks. Let's get a quick.
Thank you, Liz.
Quick recap. If you're just tuning in now and you missed all of this great content, or if you're just going back and you want to watch this replay again, whatever the case may be, we talked about metaphors. We talked about metaphors. We talked about we talked about a little bit more than just metaphors. We talked about the importance of intentions versus setting goals, clear intentions, getting you focused for whatever your arena is. See, there was a metaphor right there. And then calm strength was a solid intention that you had. Winning the one, staying in that moment is amazing. Catch, the acronym for catch. If anybody knows what that acronym stands for, see how you can apply it to life. Also, I use PACE. But and then we talked about game ready, what a game ready is, and how the visualization, seeing it ahead in time. And that's why Dave had to leave, because he's giving a game ready right now to his golfer out in Spain. And so they're really powerful, not just for athletes, but for anybody. And all this content, this is amazing stuff. And one of my coaches, Coach James, what's going on? Actually, both of our coaches. Yeah, we've both been coached by him. I love it. The Real CT is the one who does the CT touchdown celebration. Can we get a CT double bicep for the crowds?
Catch it on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, but the CT double bicep is something that we've had fun with. Let me also just say shout out to Johnny P. John Poachman, who came on there, he was a big reason that we were always doing trivia in 2014, and
yes,
was the one who taught us about now my favorite holiday. Shout out to everybody watching from
no
year is Lay Day. So shout out to everybody who celebrate Lay Day the last.
Let me ask Liz, since you're from Hawaii, what date of the year is Lay Day? I'm nervous to see this because I've been
one of Johnny P's questions.
This question's haunted me for 3 years now. Me and Royce, Royce Pollard. We both played at Hawaii. We didn't know what Lay Day was. We'd never heard of it. Been there for 5 years. Never heard of Lay Day. I thought it was just a tourist thing. Apparently, it's
now my favorite holiday of the year. Thank you.
It's a trivia question. Oh no, she knows it. Oh, it's a real thing.
That answer. I mean, and these guys, we probably lost the whole thing because of.
Yeah, so
a first Lay Day.
I'll never be able to live that down. That I cannot get the one and only Hawaii trivia question that we've ever had.
Every Indianapolis trivia question I got.
No that hurts. That really hurts. Oh man. Well, I've had a good time today. I don't know if you've had a good time, but shoot, it's Aloha Friday. How do you not have a good time?
I do not have it. You're absolutely right.
Anything else? You want to talk for another hour?
We probably could, but we should probably spare everybody. Get me on. I know we've been trying to figure this out and squeeze in a time, so I'm glad this worked out. I'm
glad you were able to make it work out. I know you're a busy guy, so I appreciate you taking the time. I appreciate everybody that's been taking the time with us today. I'll just end. Last one. I just kind of started doing this, and since you came on, Meg, for a little bit. I want to give the review of the week, if you don't mind, if you allow me to. I've had the awesome pleasure of working one-on-one with Shane Austin, utilizing the Be a Beast animal triggers. I've competed as an elite athlete in college, and I'm currently an athlete, Team USA. I didn't start to utilize sports psychology and realize how important the mind is for performance until after graduating college. I've worked with several talented coaches, but was searching for something that could quickly and easily help me center myself in high-pressure situations. As the universe would have it, both Shane and Dave and the Beast Triggers and CT, okay, I added that one in, fell into my lap. I didn't start the program until months after the concept was introduced to me, and I wish I had started it sooner. In a very short amount of time, Shane was able to introduce me to these triggers in a clear, concise manner. And they're so unique because you can hear them one time, remember them forever. I'm going to leave it right there. Well, these triggers would help athletes and professionals alike. Anyone considering this program. Awesome. I'm gonna leave it there because there was a lot to that. It's a great testimony. Thank you very much, Meg. But anyways, if you want to be on the review of the week, anybody, reach out to us. Let us know if this is helping you, making an impact in your life, even if it's just Aloha Friday. We just love to reach everybody. All right. So, tried to stack the deck for you. I appreciate it, John. We did have that 190s themed.
That was excellent. Finally, a music that we could relate to. That was fun.
That is tough. That is a tough trivia thing. Anyways, I've had a blast. I mean, shoot. Any final words while you're still on stage, on camera?
Man, just thank you for everybody for tuning in. Everybody that's watching live, everybody that will watch recorded. And then obviously thanks for everybody who's supported me through this entire journey. Because there's no reason there's no reason I should have been in the situation that I'm at now. There are a lot of times where I could have easily stopped and done something else. So I'm just so grateful to have the platform to be able to share, things like this through my story and be able to move forward. And Shane, obviously you were a big part of my journey, my career. So thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for everybody who's supported me on the journey. And I'm looking forward to, writing the next chapter. Can I say it, of the metaphorical book moving forward in 2018. So things are looking good. I'm optimistic and positive about the future, and I'm excited for what's going on. So thank you, everybody who's been there, and thank you, for everybody moving forward for being there.
Jeez, love it. And last but not least, the author of the Queek, give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. Abraham Lincoln. That's it. Gosh, should have had it, right? Right?
Dying to hear that answer. Thank you.
Well, with that, we will close out and say aloha. Thank you guys all for tuning in. We will see you all next Friday. We're getting close to Thanksgiving. Be thankful, give. And also, Dave's got his Monday Facebook Lives as well. So start the week off strong. Finish strong with us. Aloha Friday. Cleveland Gladiators.
Hey, there we go.
Here we go. All righty. Aloha.